So where I saw that I can still be a mentor or a facilitator to the budding language teachers like our students. Plus, I can be a good support for the little teachers and help them secure their enrollments because I suffered. And so I don't want my colleagues to suffer.
You're listening to Speaking of Language, a podcast recorded at the Language Resource Center at Cornell University. Each week, we explore a topic related to language pedagogy and second language acquisition. This week on Speaking of Language,
we meet Ahmed Shamim, the new Academic Programs Coordinator, joining our team at the Language Resource Center.
Happy New Year, Speaking of Language listeners.
And welcome to a brand new season of our podcast, the lucky number 13.
Whoop, whoop.
We are kicking things off with a special guest.
Our LRC team has a new member. Dr. Ahmed Shamim is the new Academic Programs Coordinator here, and we are excited to introduce him to the world.
Welcome to Speaking of Language, Shamim.
And welcome to the LRC.
Thank you for having me.
So we always like to start out our podcast by asking our guest about their background and experiences with language and language learning. What does that look like for you?
Well, I for the last 8 years, I was teaching Bengali at UT Austin in 3 levels, elementary, intermediate, and advanced. And plus, I was also teaching another course called History, Politics, and Culture of Bangladesh, and also some independent studies and conference courses. So before that, I was a literature teacher. I taught English literature in Bangladesh. And because my first master's was in English literature. And, you know, as a South Asian student, we have a couple of MAs all the time when we go to the West. So after coming here, I started my MA in linguistics and then continued to PhD. While doing that, I started this language teaching job at different universities here in the U.S. and also in Bangladesh. Like I started off with teaching CLS students in Bangladesh, the critical language scholarship by the U.S. government. And then it came here, did teaching over the summer at Sasli UMadison, and then also taught some courses like Linguistics 101 at LaGuardia. So my teaching career was language, literature, and linguistics around that time. And then after completing my PhD, I focused on only on language teaching. And I also taught myself different languages along the way. So growing up, I was a passive listener of Hindi, like Hindi movies. So that was my, I would say, second language.
Okay.
And then also English. It was in the beginning of like elementary school, we get some English,
Nice.
but it is like mostly translations,
Okay.
high schools and intermediate, college. So it was basically grammar translation, so it took a lot of time. But other than that, like other languages, like using modern technology and apps and resource centers like LRC.
Yeah.
So I taught myself. I took formal lessons for French, where with Alliance Française in Bangladesh, they have a small language lab like this, where we can go, like use the audios,
Sure.
audiolingual method they were using then. And now I'm teaching myself Spanish through different apps and resources online. Yeah.
Nice. Wonderful. That's cool.
When you were getting your master's in English literature? Did you have a focus or something you were particularly interested in? I'm just asking as a former English major.
Yes, I actually loved poetry. Yes, so I am a failed poet. So
Oh, well, don't say that. You are a poet.
I still try.
Yeah, see? So you are a poet.
Yes, so the romantic poets attracted me the most, especially Keats.
Yeah.
And also, on one hand, Keats, the other hand, Coleridge.
Yeah.
And they are very good with language.
Yes.
Right?
Without a doubt.
They actually created an interest in me in pursuing language studies. And then I took Linguistics 101. And from then I was like, next time I enroll for another MA, it will be linguistics. So that transition came from the poets.
Yeah. Nice.
How they play with the language.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. So what got you excited about working at the LRC?
Yes, that's a very good question because I have two things to share about in response to that questions. One is professional and another is personal.
Sure.
So I was actually looking to a job in the East Coast because my family and my wife teaches at Cornell. So that was Cornell and East Coast. But why LRC? That is professional. So as a LICTL, like less commonly taught languages teacher, so I always felt that it's always under threat. Like enrollment is a constant problem, and as a language teacher, I want to be secured, right? So,
Sure.
And we didn't have where I taught. The universities that I taught, they did not have this kind of resource centers where we can have programs like shared course initiatives. So we can take care of the problems of the enrollments if we collaborate with other institutions, other
Sure.
universities. Then if I had that opportunity, I always felt that a teacher of less commonly taught languages should have this kind of opportunity where they can collaborate and secure their enrollments. So, and also I taught for language teaching is like 8 years here in the U.S., including other in Bangladesh and all. So it's like over a decade. I thought I have some insights,
Sure.
and I want to share with other instructors and be their support. And also, like I was teaching Bangla primarily for a long time, and pedagogically I gathered some insights, and technologically I learned some things that I want to share now. And I think LRC is the place. I checked there before I applied. I checked the programs like SCI and LSC, language across the curriculum, and also Jumpstart courses. So where I saw that I can still be a mentor or a facilitator to the budding language teachers, like our students, and plus, I can be a good support for the LICTL teachers and help them secure their enrollments because I suffered. So I don't want my colleagues to suffer. So that was my actually encouragement to come to LRC.
Nice. Well, and we're delighted to have you.
Thank you.
So we brought you on here to coordinate our academic programs. What are you most looking forward to in your new role?
The three areas that I will be overseeing, one is a shared course initiative. And I already started communicating with Columbia and Yale and they are very supportive too. And this is where I feel that, I'm doing some differences like here with the students like of 3 different universities. So I feel like now my area is big, like work area is big, like it's not confined to one language. So I will continue to do that. I will try to all possible ways. I will try to encourage students into language learning. The other thing is language across curriculum. And for the LAC initiatives, I'm looking forward to meeting the new TAs, the students who will be instructing those one-credit courses that are tied to a parent course. And this will be a new experience for me because teaching a course in entirely target language here in the U.S. is very important, culturally important, and also politically important. We want a multilingual society where we need the language in use, not just I learned the language and that's it, confined in the personal conversation. No, I want to use it in the professional level. So that will be at the same time my learning and also exploring, and I will look forward to contribute wherever I can, apart from being a facilitator. Also, my insights from language teaching, language, culture, politics, and history of Bangladesh, which I taught in English, but this will be a new thing for me to know that similar courses can be designed in Bangla. I will advise our Bengali instructors here. And also similar thing that other languages, other parent courses, if we can advertise this, that, hey, can we create a small course, a one-credit course from that parent courses? It can be government, it can be linguistics, it can be African studies. But since so many students are learning different languages, they should have an opportunity to use those languages in curriculum, and also in that would lead them to professional activities.
Yep. Great. So thinking about language education and LICTLs in particular, what suggestions or tips do you have for language learners and also for language teachers? How can they improve their skills?
So before it was difficult to learn a less commonly taught language. Like if the instructor is not there, then you cannot. Like you enrolled in elementary and then you cannot go to intermediate. So now there are resources all around. So you as a student, if you want to pursue learning LICTL, then you look around and you see resource centers around and initiatives that are focusing on LICTL, like less commonly taught languages. Like, for example, LRC has a big focus on promoting less commonly taught languages. So there are language labs where there are some apps to help them when you are not in classroom. There are resources. You just need to communicate and communicate your requirement, your needs, and then there will be resources and people to help you. That will be my suggestions to the learners and also to the instructors. As I told as I told my experience, that LICTL instructors are not as helpless as they were in the past. For the same reason that we have resource centers like LRC and shared course initiatives that we have between the three universities like Cornell and Columbia and Yale. So there are other collaborations too in the other universities. So we just want to look for it and then collaborate. And there are also resources in the terms of like research articles and books. Recently, I came across a book where it was focused on how language initiatives like shared course initiatives can promote the collaboration between little instructors, and also so that they learn the best practices of the business now, and grow as a less commonly taught instructors.
Well, and here is a shameless plug for all of you listening. I don't know if this is the publication you are referring to, but I just co-edited a volume that appeared with Routledge titled Sharing Less Commonly Taught Languages in Higher Education, Collaboration and Innovation. And that book is available open source.
Hey.
Woohoo! We like it.
Yes, I was actually referring to that. I read one chapter from that book, and it was focused on
the
SCI.
Yeah, but anyone interested in sharing lictals or language collaboration and innovation in general, check out that book, free online. Of course, you can also purchase a copy, but we do like open source and free.
We like open source and free very much. Yeah. Shamim, I know there's a story here about your name. Your name is Ahmed Shamim. You go by Shamim. Could you share with us and our listeners the story behind that?
Oh, yes, that's an interesting story. Like when I came here, I knew that in the West, people go by their first name. So many people call me Ahmed, and I don't mind, like outside where I just meet them once. But people that I share office space with, or like their colleagues, friends, then I tell them to call me Shamim. Because actually my name was Shamim Ahmed back in Bangladesh. But since I told you that I was a poet and I published my writings in the newspapers, like literary journals or literary pages of daily newspapers. So one of my friends were an editor of a national daily. So he published my translations, poems, and everything with the name Ahmed Shamim, because there was another senior Shamim Ahmed in the business. So he was quite famous and writing on the newspaper regularly. So to separate out me from that name, my editor changed my name to Ahmed Shamim. It was like around 2000s. So, and then I liked it, and it caught on. People knew me as Ahmed Shamim, the poet, translator, and short story writer. So I liked it. I liked the name. People liked it. So from then, I said, yes, I'm going to change all my academic and legal papers. And I did that before coming here.
Awesome. Yeah. Well, we are so glad to have you as a colleague and look forward to working with you.
Me too. I mean, I look forward to working with you too. And I'm so happy I'm here.
Yeah.
We are too.
So before we sign off, we'd like to ask you to share a word in a language that you speak, you love, you are learning, you may want to learn, that doesn't exist in English, but you wish it did. What is that word?
Yeah, that is a very, very interesting question because I hear all the time that there are some words in some languages and that cannot be translated. Of course, it is in one word. It's very difficult to translate. But I can try to tell you one word and from Bangla. I love Bangla language for its huge cultural heritage, and also specifically I want to tell about a saint poet called, his name is Lalon Shah. He's like a Sufi poet and a philosopher. So his poems attracted me the most, and I knew that how powerful the language can be in the hand of a poet and a Sufi.
Yeah.
So, it's not from his poem, but it's his subject matter. Sometimes he uses the story of Radha and Krishna. So, but in the Radha Krishna literature, there is one word called Abhiman, and that is, people claim that it's widely claimed thing that it is not translatable in any language that they know. I find it like partly true. Yes, it's very difficult because when we describe the word, it goes into a romantic realm where Radha, like the beloved, is sulking or pouting because the lover ignored something that she values the most, or something like that. And then she is offended, but in a romantic way. And she waits till the lover comes and make amends and says sorry, apologizes. And then everything happens, like it resolves, and then they are happy back again. Okay. So the whole ordeal is centered around the word Abhiman. It started with Sanskrit. Abhiman is actually pride. Okay. Pride is, it's also man, which is like the value of a person. The root of the root is man. So what is your man is like my value. So people, and also linguists, they want to describe, one of them is me, that actually this happens if you value yourself and somebody you love doesn't give you the same value, you get offended. So Abhiman, from pride, from value, in Bangla, the new novelty, the new meaning is to get mad. How? So we wanted to track down this word, that this is why it changed, evolved, that, okay, you did not give me the value that I wanted from you, so I'm not going to talk to you for like half an hour until you come and say, apologize and give me that value that I wanted from you. So that's Abhiman.
Nice.
Great. Well, thank you so much for speaking of language with us, Shamim.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
Tune in next week to hear all about Open Doors English, a project of the Center for Transformative Action that empowers adult English language learners in Ithaca, Tompkins, and surrounding counties to live fuller lives.
Until then,
auf Wiederhören.
The Language Resource Center is located on the ground floor of Stimson Hall on Cornell's main campus in Ithaca, New York. Check us out on the web at lrc.cornell.edu.
And follow Cornell LRC on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
Speaking of Language is produced by Angelika Kramer and Sam Lupowitz.
Recorded by Sam Lupowitz.
Original music by Sam Lupowitz, Dan Gable, and Joe Gibson.
Thanks also to the College of Arts and Sciences at Cornell University.
As a reminder, the ideas and opinions expressed on this podcast do not reflect those of the College of Arts and Sciences or any other official entity of Cornell University.
We thank our listeners, and do stay tuned for our next episode.